you're tiny in a corner, but that doesn't mean anything.
I think you can resize where it sits.
Oh, sorry, I was in the wrong place. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
It looks good to me.
Yeah. Looks like we're right on time. Should we get started?
Let's do it.
I gave my brief little intro. Troy Walker, Blackbaud Solutions Consultant. I've been in the space for about 24 years. Started Convio, Conterra, Blackbaud. So I've got a lot of the digital experience here. Mark, you want to go?
Yeah, hi everyone. Mark Becker here. I'm the founding partner of Cathexis Partners. Started the company coming up on 17 years ago in Winter Garden, Florida, but originally from Chicago. When I started first thinking about putting together this session, I reached out to the team and said, "Hey, who's got some ideas here? Let's kind of do some brainstorming on what we could put together." And a lot of great ideas came from the team, but one member of the team stood out, having all the several different ideas, and none of them require. They're all no code edits. So I decided to invite her to see if she would speak along with me today. So thank you, Andrea, for joining us. And these are all coming from her bag of tricks, and by no means the complete bag, but definitely a lot of great ideas out of here, just using the default functionality and going in and tweaking it, and there's no code required. Andrea, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Yeah, happy to be participating today. I'm Andrea Fleischer, been with Cathexis for a while, and also have worked with other local and national nonprofit organizations prior to that. Been using Luminate for many years back, and going back to when it was called Convio. And yeah, that's my quick intro. And I hope we have some folks on the call today who work with TeamRaiser and looking for some ways to kind of hack around and improve the user interfaces.
We have some very specific things we're going to go through here, but and feel free to ask questions in the chat or the Q&A as we go. But also, yeah, we'll feel free to go off topic and drop in some other questions, and we'll see if we can cover them as we go through here. So let me go ahead and hit the next slide. To jumping right in, we only have a short amount of time for this, so let's just even look at donation form labels as a starting point. Again, this is not an end-all or be-all, but just a kind of a cross-section of different ways you can tweak the default environment that many of us might not have ever known or knew at one point and forgot about because we're not in there all the time. So I think these are some very basic, elegant things that you can do. So like recognition name on the donation form is totally editable. Same thing with the personal note. Recognition name might be obvious to us, the folks that are always in TeamRaiser every day working with it, but someone that's making a donation, they might be like, okay, I think I know what that means, but what does that mean? So you can definitely add some more language to that to help clarify what that is, and also the personal note clarifying that it is going to be only viewable by the person that you donated to and not publicly available to everybody. And Andrew, you kind of want to walk through how they edit that one? Sure.
Right, so this is in the donation form itself. Pardon me. This is in the donation form in when you go to step 3, design donor screens. Forgive me, I had some trouble with my camera, but I got it back going. So we're talking about the recognition.
Yeah, so step 3 there, and then you can, the recognition name, that's right.
Okay, great. So it's a field called recognition name in the donation form, and it's part of the TeamRaiser field group. And if you create a donation form, illuminate that it gives you some choices when you start the form. What type of form do you want? I'm telling you this because sometimes people inherit a form that someone else created before them, and it might not have these fields on it. So if you're starting a form from scratch, be sure that you're choosing the TeamRaiser type of form. And if you already have a form that is lacking these fields, it's not hard to put them in. You would just simply scroll down in that left window that says select data elements until you see the TeamRaiser fields, and then you'd find that recognition name field and move it over using that add button. Anyway, the field label that is highlighted in yellow on the screen there says recognition name. And so the point here is that's what appears on the screen after the donor donates. That's what shows up in TeamRaiser in the leaderboards, the donor scroll. But sometimes that label is not intuitive to your donors. Some people might get it, but some people might not. And so it's good to just expand on that. So what we're suggesting is a sentence like the one you see on the screen: your donation will be recognized online. Please show that this gift is from, and that's just you could use different text if you want. Your point is you want to help it be clear. So if somebody is, this is like the walker or runner's best friends, family, and they want it to say the Jones family or mom and dad, something kind of warm and familiar, that's where they can put that. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So moving on to the next one. In the search for a participant, the P-Find page, participant find page labeling, you can change it from the default to customize. And again, this is just one example from one of our clients that has a birdathon, and find a birdathoner to support. That's just language to kind of make it a little bit more personal to that campaign. You'll see that there's also different colored links. Is that JavaScript, I'm assuming, Andrea, that changed the colors?
The color, no, that's a color setting that we put in the style sheet in the wrapper for that particular client to customize the colors.
But the actual edit to this specific labeling is actually in the TeamRaiser configuration under step 13.
Right.
Customize pages, find a participant page, and then anything else to add there, Andrea?
Right. Yeah. The reason for that is if you think about what is on someone's mind when they're a donor and they've sort of landed on the site, I think a lot of donors are going to follow a link that a participant emails to them or shares with them in some way. But some people will end up on the main site and they want to donate. So they click the donate button. And if that's your mindset, if you're thinking, I want to give, you're expecting to see a donation form. You're not expecting to see a search. But we know that this is important. This is how TeamRaiser works. It's really important to direct your gift to the right person or team. So it's about modifying the language and sort of softening that so you reduce the cognitive load on that donor when they're coming in, so they're not surprised. I've seen people get here and then hit the back button because this wasn't what they expected, and you don't want to have friction when they're trying to donate. So just simply by adding the word donate or just rephrasing that title, find a participant team to support. Nice. Makes it easier for them.
And then in the participation selection area, especially if you only have like one participation type, the default language says select a participation type, right? So you can actually change that. And again, a lot of this in this area is editable, but this is just what we kind of handpicked out of here. But you can go ahead and change, select participation type, especially suggest doing that again if you only have one participation type. And make it something a little bit more motivational, like I'm on board, or something like that, right?
Right. And if you look at the left example, it's just redundant. And they're tiny little lines of text. And maybe it doesn't matter, but it is a way that you can simplify and make that interface cleaner and also just harness the power of words here to motivate infuse some excitement.
And that's again in the TeamRaiser step 13 customized pages. And this is just a good reminder for all of us to take some time when you're building out next year's campaign. Easier said than done, I understand, but to look for some of these things and potentially tweak the default language. All right. Self-donor gift arrays, right? So by default, you can, have a check mark to allow a participant to make an additional donation at time of registration or not. In addition to that, you can also set up gift arrays. Now, this is a bit, tricky because, straightforward, but also tricky because you actually have to, first of all, enable having levels for self-donations turned on, right? Which is under step. I know some of this is pretty small, but you'll get a copy of these. You can download these slides. Under step 3, first of all, sub-step 13, you have to enable allowing this to happen, right? And then you can actually go in and configure the donor levels. Anything to add to that one, Andrea?
Only that not only can you configure the levels, but there's also a description field there that you can use if you want to add, sometimes a prompt. I worked with one organization who made getting a t-shirt for the event contingent upon it raising a certain amount of money, and that can be communicated in there, for example. I know there was some, there might be differences of opinion on the order to put those, whether to put them in descending or ascending order, but go with your gut sense, or if there's any benchmark data that might make a little difference on how you arrange those donation levels.
Like it. And then the returning user labels, right? New user, you can add some more language to that, and versus returning user as well. All very editable. Again, under customized pages, step 13 in TeamRaiser, just those field labels, right? Anything to add to that one, Andrea?
This is all just based on anecdotal feedback that some nonprofit organizations have gotten from their users. So it's about knowing your constituents, knowing your event participants, and what will make sense to them.
Like it. And then there's, in general, just being able to edit the message catalog. So all the ones we showed you so far were campaign specific. One TeamRaiser campaign within your instance could be configured with labels saying one thing, and the next campaign can say another. Now, if you want to make some universal changes across your instance, it'll apply to every button or area that appears as appropriate, but that is configurable in the message catalog. And that's available under setup, product configuration. And if you are logged into Luminate Online environment and you're like, wait, I don't see that, that means you don't have access to see that. So you might want to check with your team and make sure that if you are the appropriate person, you get access to it. I believe it requires advanced site admin access. If you're the only person at your team, you should have access to that. Somebody on your team should have access and have advanced site admin access. And that's where you have complete access to all the different features and functionalities. So once you get into the product configuration, you can break it down it's broken down by different application or modules within Luminate Online, and you can just search TeamRaiser, for example. And in this case, I think I searched, maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, I did. I searched search for a team. I put that phrase in here, and it came back with 3 different areas where that phrase is used across the message catalog. So if you refer to teams as something else, your organization, groups, schools, companies, whatever you might want to call it, feel free to update the message catalog. But again, make sure that you realize that that's going to be affecting everything across the instance. And it might be more than just the one button that you're thinking you're adjusting. It might be that label, that catalog, the message catalog, might be pulled in different areas. So just be aware and QC and test everything after you make any of these kind of global changes. Any other thoughts on that, Andrea?
The message catalog is great. Like, I think everyone I've introduced it to has been gleefully excited to discover its capabilities. Yeah, it can require some focus because there are a lot of labels in there and a little bit of testing sometimes to make sure that you're affecting the right one. But yeah, if you're doing anything different at all, or if you're running multiple TeamRaisers and you want to make the same changes across the board, that's a great place to do it.
Just know that you are getting into the weeds of things, and you can do do no harm for sure. Know where your edits are at. I don't know, Troy, if you have any thoughts on the message catalog. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I know you're in
please
here
do.
all the time as well.
I think that it's one of those things too. It's Pandora's, or not Pandora's. What is the Russian doll, nested doll thing, where you just keep digging and digging deeper in? It's amazing, and it's very, very hidden. So I love that you're pointing that out.
And I would also, I'm going to back up here and kind of steal this slide for another purpose. Right above product configuration is database configuration. And that's where all your default fields are. And time permitting, I can jump over to our sandbox and show you this some of this stuff live. I wanted to make sure we did screenshots just for the sake of time, but time permitting, I can do a more hands-free thing here. But the database configuration is where all your different fields are at, and there's a whole lot that aren't utilized at all by default that might be useful to you. So it's another area to check out and possibly make public facing in a kind of some constituent update fields where they can view or edit information, or even just view lifetime giving and things like that. But
Mark, I know that the name of your session is No Code. However, for those that are here that have heard of S tags before, when Mark talks about the database configuration, that's a really good place to go to figure out what we call each one of those S tags. So if you want to do ultra personalization in email subject lines or other places, that's where you can pick up that S tag : and then what the database field is actually called. So sorry about doing that, but since you're there, I thought I'd throw that in there.
That's a great point, because I would call that no code, right? Or it's very, very straightforward code.
If I can do it, you're absolutely right, because it is not code, right? No, it's not. It's bracket S tag. Yeah.
Exactly. I like it. Good stuff. So that's the message catalog. And it wouldn't be one of my sessions if I don't talk about the admin homepage, right? By default, you probably have, more than likely, my money is on the fact that when you log in, you see what's on the left there, the administrator homepage. And that's all well and good. That's great. I actually know one of the guys that was part of building that, I think 20 plus years ago, Glenn Peck and some others back in the Convio days, built that out, and it's stayed the course of time. So well done, Glenn and the rest of the team that were building that out. But just know, like any other page builder page, that can be edited. Here's some examples on the right-hand side of some quick mock-ups we did. One is the top one is the one we have in our sandbox, and the one below that is actually one of your clients, right, Andrea?
That's right. Yeah, that's an organization that is running around 75 TeamRaiser events simultaneously every year. And this is a custom built dashboard that just lists them all. At a glance, we can see how many registrations, how many teams. It's kind of the content you see on the TeamRaiser status tab, roughly, but it's all in one place for many, many events. And we all find it really useful as a way to just glance in there and see who's got how many participants today.
Yeah, and you can go in and, short links, quick links to manage or edit those individual campaigns. So it's just a matter of saving a few clicks. And when your whole job revolves around, event administration, those few clicks add up every day to thousands of clicks a year that you could save, by taking the time and building these dashboards up front. I know Troy's a big fan of, custom admin pages too.
Oh, it's one of those things too, is anybody that's used Luminate or TeamRaiser in the past knows, it's a complex system, easy to get lost in. And by terrible term, but dumbing it down for somebody like me that doesn't log into email very often. And if I'm pinch hitting for somebody, man, it's just nice to have the list of things on the dashboard that I can just click through and say, okay, here's the template or stationery, here's the assets and everything else. Just makes it super, super easy. So you're not navigating around like you're saying, Mark. I'm eliminating 10 clicks a time.
Yep. And again, to go in and update that, you just go over to across the top nav, content, and then page builder, and then search for admin homepage, and don't edit content. In fact, I'm not sure. I think we'd all be best served if they just hid that button there. Go in and manage, and then make a copy of the existing live one, and then edit the content, rename that copy, and edit the content there. And once you're happy with it, make it live. And you can have custom home pages for different people based on their roles. And you can add security groups and assign them, so when they log in, they see a different one than you do, and all get really fancy. But all pretty straightforward stuff. Any other thoughts from either one of you on I think we've brought that home pretty good, right?
Yeah, I think, the admin, again, that's another one of those just hidden gems that I'd say that 90% of the sites that I ever log into have that 2002 splash page that you talked about.
Yep. Yep. And it's fine, it's all well and good, and most people just kind of blow past it and kind of move on with their days, with what actual tasks they're trying to do. But let me go ahead and see if I can jump over to our sandbox. And my screen, let me see what I'm sharing here. See if I can share this again. All right. So again, happy to go into anything specific. Anybody chats in any questions or Q&A. But I'm just going to go off on a random tangent here. As I mentioned, the database, if you don't see setup, you probably don't have access. You don't have access. So advanced site admin, I think, is what you need. At least site admin. You might be able to see some of these, but you might not see all of them. So advanced site admin gets you the full Monty on all the different things. And then it's broken down really straightforward. It's worth, spending 5 minutes to get familiar with this. Email addresses, biographical information is all here. But then you scroll down and underutilize things like, oh boy, I'm just drawing a blank.
Engagement factors, I guarantee.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or
Engagement
we can talk
factors.
about using, if you have a TeamRaiser with, where you're trying to capture some unique bit of data about your constituents, you can save it on a custom string. So, for example, I'm walking in honor of a certain person. I'm walking in honor of Mary Jones, making up a name. If you wanted to ask your participants that as they're signing up for the TeamRaiser in the registration flow, you can save the answer to that question on a custom string, and then you can display it on the person's web page, on their personal fundraising page, by using an S tag that calls up that custom string and displays it right there. And then you can use custom styling to make it look the way you want. So it isn't just text, but it might be larger, might have a box around it, might have an icon. So that's an example.
Yep, I love it. And this decides who can see the field and who can edit the field. So is it an admin only can see it, or can the user see it? And just because the user can see it doesn't mean they see it unless you actually have it in a field or on a page where they can actually view it. But it just means it is viewable. And Jeremy is on the line. Good old Jeremy Reynolds. Hey man, good to see you here. He points out a great point in the chat that those custom strings can be mapped back to your Razor's Edge custom fields. So again, really important. Think of this at Constituent 360 as where you can ask certain custom questions and have them go back to Razor's Edge or your database of record, whereas sometimes you can create custom questions like in the registration process or the donation process and not map those back to your Constituent 360 overall database or table. So t-shirt size you probably don't care about, or that type of thing, to get back to your database of record. But I think we're nearing the end. Unless there's any other questions, happy to cover anything else or show off anything else if there's there are a few minutes left. I will say if
stuff that Mark and Andrea covered today too, if you want to take it to the next level, is update style sheets. So, you're going through, you're changing all the labels that they talked about, like especially in those donation forms where you see the old school radio buttons. All you've got to do is go in and make a really, really simple style sheet change, and you change those from radio buttons to buttons you can touch with your thumb. Simple stuff to do if you know CSS, and if you don't, get Cathexis to help you out there.
Yeah, we showed you a lot of the very, easy stuff to do, but you probably forgot about or never knew about. But know that if you ever need custom coding, we love to teach people to fish as much as they care to, and show you, these days with ChatGPT and everything, it's easier and easier to code. So don't let it intimidate you, and our team can help, with the heavier lifts or do custom coding and design for you. So really appreciate everybody's time today. Thank you, Andrea, for your time. Thanks, Troy. And thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you.
Have a great day.